I can reconcile Trump caving on virtually any issue. Amnesty and not building the wall are not one of them. Adding to the tumult in the deep of night, conflicting accounts over what exactly Trump and Democrats had brokered. Aides to Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer, Democrat New York, and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, asserted that Trump had agreed not to request wall funding as part of their pact to soon move legislation to help undocumented immigrants who are protected under the executive order. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders tweeted at 10:21 p.m. While DACA and border security were both discussed, excluding the wall was certainly not agreed to. 11 minutes later, Matt House, an advisor to Schumer, tweeted, the president made clear he would continue pushing the wall, just not as part of this agreement. Sanders' Twitter assurance, however, did little to calm the roiled voices, especially in the populist nationalist wing of the Republican Party, a wing deeply linked to Trump. Deep state wins, huge loss for #MAGA, Fox Business anchor Lou Dobbs tweeted, alluding to Trump's Make America Great Again campaign slogan. Others who have supported Trump's immigration positions took a wait-and-see approach amid the chaos. My sense is that he told Chuck and Nancy what they wanted to hear, and they heard what they wanted to hear. I think there could be some mischief-making on the part of Schumer since the White House is walking it back, said Mark Krikorian, an immigration hardliner who runs the Center for Immigration Studies, in an interview. Senator Charles E. Grassley, Republican Iowa, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, tweeted Thursday that his efforts to work with Democrats on immigration policy were undercut by Trump's moves and asked the White House staff to brief me. Meanwhile, Fox News host Sean Hannity, who is in regular contact with Trump, directed his ire over the developments not at the president but at GOP leaders on Capitol Hill. Well, Mitch, great job, Hannity tweeted, referring to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky. You failed so miserably with health care and excessive expectations, now at POTUS has to deal with Dem leaders. Hannity added later, I blame ours. They caused this. They wanted him to fail, and now pushed him into arms of political suicide, if true. As the White House calls for her firing, ESPN's Jemele Hill addresses The Elephant in the Room by Cindy Boren in the Washington Post National section. I'm Sam Scholl. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said on September 13th ESPN anchor Jemele Hill's comments calling President Trump a white supremacist were a fireable offense. ESPN said Hill's comments do not represent their position. Reuters. Hours after a White House spokesperson called for ESPN to fire her because she called President Trump a white supremacist on Twitter, Jemele Hill tweeted about the topic Wednesday night, saying she was going to address the elephant in the room after becoming the latest flashpoint in a cultural skirmish that has enveloped the sports network once again. Hashtagging her tweet, facts, Hill wrote, my comments on Twitter expressed my personal beliefs. My regret is that my comments and the public way I made them painted ESPN in an unfair light. My respect for the company and my colleagues remains unconditional. When asked Wednesday afternoon by the Post's David Nakamura about Hill's original tweets, Sarah Huckabee Sanders said she was unsure whether the president was aware of the kerfuffle they caused, but added, I think that's one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make, and certainly something that I think is a fireable offense by ESPN. ESPN, in a statement after the first tweet, said that the comments do not represent the position of ESPN. We have addressed this with Jemele, and she recognizes her actions were inappropriate. Hill, who is the co-host with Michael Smith of the network's signature SportsCenter franchise at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, was on the air Tuesday and Wednesday as the tweets were drawing loud reaction across the political spectrum, with some pointing out that the network fired Curt Schilling in April 2016 from its baseball broadcast and accusing the network of pushing an increasingly liberal agenda, especially after Robert Lee was removed from the broadcast of a University of Virginia football game. The topic came up on Fox News' Tucker Carlson Tonight and Fox and Friends on Wednesday night. Schilling fired away at Hill, telling Sean Hannity, Jemele Hill has always been a racist. The things that she says, the things that she does, I don't have a problem with the fact that Jemele Hill is racist, that ESPN's Bomani Jones is racist, and Colin Kaepernick knelt for a lie, and that Disney and ESPN, who they own, supports liberal racism. Those two words were heard often last winter when the network removed Sage Steele from its NBA Countdown show, prompting cries that it was because of her presence at the center of social media flaps involving NFL anthem protests and airport immigration protests. There were suggestions that she moved to Fox News, with the Daily Beast calling her a right-wing favorite, and with Clay Travis describing her as a prominent conservative voice. Steele now appears on SportsCenter AM, and she described how she feels to the Post. Dan